I want to talk a little bit about like the psychology behind why some people like to work and other people's are really avoidant about it. I think it comes from this like locus of control, which just means that a lot of people who are successful realize that if they work and they actually try to make a change in their situation, they have the best chance of ever making a change in their situation. What does that mean? If you just hope every single day that somehow your situation is going to change, it's very likely you're going to stay exactly where you are, right? And nothing's going to change. And that seems like, a very obvious fact, but it's something that I think a lot of people don't realize that like, hey, if you want to be successful, if you want something else, if you don't like what you're currently doing, you need to put in significant amount of work to change that path. And so people who like or have gotten used to working, right, really realize that. They're like, I'm working hard because I want to change my future and I want to give myself more control and have as much as control as possible, right? Because if you think about it, there's so many factors in life you can't control. You can work hard and fail, right? You can work hard for years and fail. But if you don't work hard, your failure is 100% guaranteed. So it's like, I would rather have a failure that is 99% guaranteed than 100% because there's still that 1%. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like if you work for 5 years, that 1% will eventually grow and become bigger. As you learn more and more lessons, that 1% gets to 5%, gets to 10%, eventually gets to a point where you just keep working, and you have to become successful because you just keep learning, keep improving, and eventually you run out of things to you run out of stuff that you still need to learn to become successful. I'm not saying that successful means you just stop improving yourself, but there's a threshold to where you just know so much that you're bound to make the correct decision. You're bound to eventually hit that kind of lucky streak. And that luck really is built off the back of just hours and hours and hours and years and years and years of work. And so it's that's why people who like to work understand that. They understand I'm working for myself. I'm working to improve myself, improve my skills, all of this. It's a good thing that I'm working, right? But people who don't like it's my life should be great. Why am I working now, right? I should just be relaxing. And they don't correlate the fact that if you want to enjoy a better life, the life that you see all these people, you idolize all these people for having this amazing life. If you want that life, you have to work. And you can have it, but you have to work. And so I think this is just a fundamental mindset shift that needs to happen in a lot of people. And I'm not trying to force you to have dreams if you don't want to have dreams, but it's if you have them and you actually care about them and you really want to achieve them, you have to get used to just doing tons of work. And I'm sitting here saying this, you're watching me, right? But it's the only way to get used to doing tons of work is doing tons of work. So that's why I'm telling you right now, just pause the video, get off of this, go do some work, and just push yourself a little bit more each day. Just do it 10% more each time, right? You work for 5 hours, work for 5 hours and 10 minutes, then again, 5 hours and 20 minutes, 5 hours and 30 minutes. Keep going until you get 6 hours. And after 6, try to go to 7 and then 8. And then, just gradually increase. And eventually you'll have these calluses in your mind that allow you to just work for longer periods of time. And it just becomes your norm. And that's really where you want to be,